Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another brand new episode of the show. Today's features my friends, comedians Jon Maddy and Brad Williford. They stopped by to talk about their new comedy series they're starting up on Saturdays over at Bobby's Place in Valley Park. We had a really good time hanging out, talking about what these two have been up to. So sit back and relax and enjoy this one. I do want to remind you that Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Naked Vine in Chesterfield, Missouri, serving up the finest wine, whiskey, tequila, and local craft beers. Stop by this weekend for some great live music on Friday and Saturday. Every Thursday night is a vinyl spin night. Bring your own records and hang out there with Brian and the crew. You can find all this information at nakedvine.net. Be sure to follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, big thank you to Roughneck Beard Company for their support. This time of the year is great for their Roughneck Genesis. Features aloe vera juice infused with biotin, B12, MSM, and glycerin. This product actually helps your hair and skin pull moisture in from the air around it, keeping everything soft and healthy. Just a couple sprays before adding your favorite beard oil or balm, and you're good to go. Shop online 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com or visit them in Maplewood, Missouri at their shop. You can use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off your purchase. Again, they got all your favorite beard products over there at roughneckbeardcompany.com. Also, big shout out to Heil Sound for their support and helping me make this show sound great. Visit heilsound.com. Pick up some brand new gear. That's it for me, everybody. Be sure to follow along on the socials. Hit me up at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or requests or anything. I'd love to hear from you all. And that's it. Enjoy the show. Have a great day, everyone.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, this is Jon Maddy, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, this is Brad Williford with Underground Comedy Series, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with returning guest, Jon Maddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Glad to be here with you guys. We also got Brad Williford, right?
Yeah. Hey,
I said that right?
Yep.
All right, just making sure. But yeah, man, glad to be here hanging with you guys. We got a big show to talk about, a new adventure and everything. So, and plus, I thought this would just be a ton of fun to catch up with Jon. We haven't. Jon, what do you, 97 you said?
Yeah, episode 97, part of the illustrious double-digit episode club.
So it's been a long...
We got right in there.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, what episode you at now?
Well, as of recording this, it was like 8:26 went out this morning.
My goodness.
It's been a couple. It's been a long time.
Getting out there with Joe Rogan number.
Been a handful since us.
Yeah. But so this is kind of crazy to think about that it's been that long since we've sat and did one of these like this. But I'm glad to be here again, like I said. And so catch up. But we not that was like not like that was the last time we hung out. I mean, we've done a lot of fun stuff since.
Yeah, you did your that benefit for at the old Rock House for your mom.
Yeah.
Also around the same time, you had 600 episodes out. I remember that.
Yeah, that
was hard to fathom when you had 600. Now look at you.
Yeah, I think the 600 was the 4-year birthday show that you hosted for me.
Yeah.
That was, and then you came to the benit.
So that was even longer ago than the benefit.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
And then you
were already at 600.
You helped do that little Wayne's World video we did. That was a ton of fun for that party.
The memory just popped up like a week ago. It'd been a year ago.
Yeah. Did you see that?
No, I'm interested in the Wayne's World though.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love the Wayne's World.
We remade
my old lady are big into that.
We remade the scene of him promoting a show he didn't know he was putting on yet. You know, they're like, "Oh, who's going to be on the show?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh," and he sees an album, Aerosmith, and we remade that with all the bands that were going to be on the show.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, I was Garth.
Yeah.
Me and my old lady won emo's costume competition for a year's worth of free pizza as Wayne's World. She was Garth and I was. I mean, she was Wayne and I was Garth.
Garth with dreads.
So, but we both had like the hats on and we dressed up like it and sent the pictures in and got a bunch but they said a year's worth of free pizza. Everybody knows how much emos cost.
They gave a week.
No, they gave us like a $50 gift card.
Oh,
are you serious?
Yeah.
We know you're only going to order pizza once this year.
Right.
And that's about as much as we had a little party, I think.
Jeez.
A little pizza party.
$50 is like 2 pizzas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hardly a year. Yeah.
But it was cool. I mean, you know.
How many salads can I get with that?
Right.
You know?
That's what my old lady loves, man. My wife loves the salads.
They should have said, you could win a month's supply of salads. $50 gift card.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we got you guys been working on a new project. That's why we wanted to get into talking about this. But I wanted to talk about just being that this is my first time meeting Brad. I wanted to kind of get to know more about you and how you guys came to meet and all this stuff. And So I guess you guys met through comedy, right? Or did you guys meet before even comedy?
Yeah, we met in high school back freshman year at Fox as basketball. I met him. I mean, we were in some of the same classes, but then he tried out for basketball, and so did I, and we both made the team. So
nice.
From then on, it was like me, him, Big Mike, and the regular old basketball crew that was always hanging out. And then when I left, went back to North Carolina, where I'm from. And then when I came back, John had just got into the comedy thing, and I remember.
How long ago was that you came back?
You know me, it was always like 3 years ago. No, it was like 6 or 7 years ago that when I came back and you had just started comedy.
That's about right.
And because Antonio, because my first time coming back, it was Antonio's first show. And then I remember coming back and you had your first show.
Yep.
And I was kind of jealous because I always wanted to do comedy. Always been into comedy. Like my pops has always had it on. He used to collect all the Def Jam, the comedy series. So it was always playing. And then when he did it, I was super jealous. And finally got the balls to do it at the beginning of this year in January. I started the comedy thing, but I realized I'm really not all that great at it.
Not yet, dude.
I know comedy and I know what's funny and I know that there's I'm seeing some things. Like I watch a lot of comedy, different podcasts and stuff too. Like Brendan Schwab and The Fighter and The Kid or whatever. They were dogging St. Louis comedy scene one episode. And it was like, you know, because I know we have a lot of great comedians. I know there's a lot of great, and I know we have a lot of funny people. But a lot of the, you know, at the professional level, there's a lot of shit talking on the St. Louis comedy scene.
What they have to say though, because like
just as a horrible place to perform.
Yeah, I think it's more the St. Louis audiences sometimes don't vibe well with people outside of their realm, or at least people have had bad experiences. Like I'll never forget David Cross's experience. Like they booked him at like some type of religious school or something like that, and they didn't know that he was. They saw David Cross off of a TV show where he wasn't himself, but him doing comedy. If you don't know who David Cross is doing comedy and you book him, that he's going to do what he knows, and he did that, and they weren't expecting it and shunned him for it, and then he drug St. Louis through the mud for
Yeah.
it, which I don't really blame him. It's not really his fault.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've heard. I mean, that's terrible because like, if you just look at his record titled "Shut Up, You Fucking Baby," like that should probably give you a clue like what's going on. Like, but yeah, he's hilarious, but definitely not being booked for that sign. I remember I did. So one of my favorites, Steve Byrne, was coming to town, and they booked him at this like homecoming weekend type of thing, or not home. Like parents' weekend type of thing at SIUE.
Oh, okay.
And I went down to I saw he was coming to town, and I messaged like their events thing, and I was like, "Hey, is this like open to public or is it just the students kind of thing?" And she's like, "It's open to public, and it was a free show." And I'm like, "Well, hell, I'm going. Like, I don't care. I'll go to a free show." And like, so
See Steve Byrne.
yeah. So so me and my buddy Will go down there, and we. And so like they had was Derek Hughes opened up the show. He's like a magician comedian, and so he was like the family friendly portion of the show for the younger siblings that came along and all this stuff for the family weekend. And then they made like an announcement, hey, our next portion of the show is not family friendly. If you have little ones, this is probably your time to go and all this stuff. So they did their part. And then Steve comes out, and like he's trying to keep it cool for a while because there's like 10-year-olds in the front row.
Oh my goodness.
And then he's like, fuck it, they know what they're getting. Like they were been warned.
Yeah.
And so he goes into some, and it wasn't like a great joke by any means, but it was enough to get the point across. But he said some joke about coming in a girl's eye, and then she's like gotta like cover her eye, and like he's got to wear an eye patch or something. It was just enough to where it was like, you watch like all these families get up and leave, and I just
Mommy, what's coming?
Yeah, right.
What's that mean?
So
Taco flavor.
He just doesn't know how to pronounce cumin.
yeah. So I'm cracking up that that made me laugh even harder than the joke was that everybody just like got up and walked out of his show and stuff. But obviously,
And then it's just you sitting there
right,
enjoying
yeah.
it.
Well, that's definitely something. It's nice that he eased into it. Because I
Right.
remember my first show, John was there, and I remember he said afterwards, he said, maybe not start off with all abortion jokes. So I was like, yeah, good one. So now I close with the abortion jokes. But I mean, yeah, so as long as but that's the one thing I've seen in St. Louis is that, and nobody knows what's going on. Like I started going to all these shows, and nobody knew what was going on. There's no organization. There's no.
Is it?
What do you mean?
As far as going into the helium and how to sign up, and then when you get in there, it's kind of just like I threw my name in a bucket. Nobody came and said, "Hey, this is how it's going to work. This is what's going on."
That's what it is. It's a bucket mic.
Right, but with somebody that doesn't know what's going on at all, it's just walking in there, and it's like, what do I
So
do?
you don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Not-
But
he said
that's
nobody
why
knows
I
what's
want the
going on.
people to be able to kind of give them a little bit of a direction when they like contact. This is how it's going to go. This is where you'll be. This is, I remember my first time. It was just I put my name in there and I'm sitting around not knowing what's going on, and then they called me up and didn't know, how I seen it be done differently at the Funny Bone.
Right.
They pulled them aside. They pulled the new guys aside in the back bar over there where that little jazz place was, and they talked
That's
to
everybody. They do the meeting every time.
Yeah, but the one guy that
Get a
runs it
lowdown.
all, he like kind of pulled them aside and talked to them and let them know how it's going and how it was going to work. And I liked that. I like these guys weren't just sitting around like, because you're already nervous. You're already nervous, so you're not wanting to fuck up and be a goofball, and then you get thrown into that situation. So I kind of wanted to make sure that in the crowd too. I feel there's no promoting or advertising or anything with any of these comedy shows.
Well, then start promoting your show. Let's go.
Yeah. That's what this whole thing was for. And the promoting of the Bobby's Place. We're doing that on Saturday nights starting August 1st.
What's it called?
It's just the underground comedy series at Bobby's Place. And it'll be somewhat. It's kind of a mixture of an open mic and a showcase. As far as I'm gonna have some really legit, guaranteed, funny comedians come in and be doing a little bit more time than your usual open mic. I'll have a closer that's going to get to do 15 to 20 minutes, and then there'll be 7 to 8. I think we've got open mic slots for people that just want to try their hand at comedy.
Every Saturday, starting August 1st.
And yeah, so they'll be guaranteed funny, and it's a free show because everybody, I think, is in the same boat right now as far as money. And so, and it's not going to be your typical bar comedy open mic. It's not going to be a bunch of, they're giving us control of the room, so it's not going to be a bunch of drunk people mixing in with a crowd that's there to see comedy. They're going to allow us to have, they have the patio open for the people that don't want to enjoy the show, but we'll have a section that's for the comedy show and everything.
Right.
And there'll be specials and food and all that. So.
You guys want to put your phones on airplane or something?
I just silenced it.
Well, it was giving some kind of feedback when I noticed.
Oh, probably when he just got his message.
Yeah.
It might be.
Might help with that. Sometimes he's.
There we go.
But so August 1st at Bobby's Place in Volley Park, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And every Saturday after, and starting off, you got a couple of my friends. You got JC Sibala, who was just on the show a little bit ago. We had a really good time hanging out and catching up.
Yeah, he's gonna be closing for me. He I met him a couple months back at one of his open mics, and he said, I was talking to him about it, and he offered to do a free show for me, which is really great of him because I know he's in the position that he can probably get paid to do, a Saturday night gig, which is a really really nice gesture of him to help out another, guy.
Yeah, and then Cori Stewart?
Yep.
Cori Stewart.
I'm glad she jumped on. I really like her. I think she's hilarious.
Indeed.
And did you say Marquise Moore?
Marquise Moore.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah, he actually was my first time doing a comedy club. He was the host and brought me on and joked me a little bit. So I know he's funny. And he always, like John said, brings great energy to the place. So.
I've gone on the road a lot with him. We've always had a good time. I've never seen him have a bad set.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got a guy named Jon Maddy somehow got on the show.
Yeah, he paid to get on. He greased me.
He's very cheap, man. It's very easy.
No, and we who was the other one? Oh, Alex Blodgett. I don't know. Have you met him yet?
I don't believe so.
He started around the same time I did, but is a lot funnier and is doing a lot better, and moving up in the game a lot quicker. So he's one of those ones that nobody really knows about yet, but I think once we get the name out there, people are going to really like him because he's doing great.
We got Mike Ratcliff, too.
Yeah, and do you know Mike?
I don't think I know Mike either.
Oh, man, he's hilarious. There's a few comedians, just going to the open mics before I ever started seeing, I was like, man, I want to see them do more than 5 minutes. And that's part of why I'm doing this, too, because I want to see more than what they are. So they are all getting more time because Mike's hilarious, John's hilarious, but you can only usually catch them for 5 minutes unless someone does a show. So hopefully with these funny comedians, you'll be able to come and check them out and see them do 8 to 10 minutes and see more than them being rushed through trying out a new joke.
And then we got, 7, 8 open mic slots that we're going to fill every show, too. So give people an opportunity to work their stuff out. There's a lot of open mics still haven't come back from the COVID
and I'll sell
stuff.
spots, so bring your money. No, I'm kidding.
No, but, I mean, for now, it's going to be a free show. We would like to charge people to come in eventually so we could start paying the comics that we actually plan to bring on the show. And then my number one goal, which I guess is also Brad's, is the open mic sets that we put on there. The people that do well, we can offer them a set to stretch their legs the next show and actually, book them per se, give them 10 minutes instead of 5 and get them to work on some more stuff. And we know they were funny because we saw them at the open mic set. They did well.
Right.
That, and we also I'm planning on trying to get the audience involved by having little cards for them to fill out who their favorite set was each night. And each week the best one will offer them more time, a position, that. And I also want to do roast battles because I think those are hilarious, and we don't have any of them in St. Louis.
Sure.
Have we?
Oh, yeah, there's been some.
Yeah, I haven't been to one yet. But
I think it's been a while. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm working on one of those. I don't have a date on when that'll be released, but that's definitely going to be in the works as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. That's those roast, especially like as like Comedy Central kind of put together the roast battle show and stuff with Jeff Ross and it's just a lot of fun to see those guys ripping on each other like that and things. And it's a really, really fun atmosphere. Even if it's mean, it's still it's all because they love each other and stuff. It's all in a good time. And so, but yeah, it'd be fun to, like you're saying, like kind of have some variety into the, not just your standard stand-up show, but you can also have different theme to, as the show evolves and everything, as these Saturday nights become, something more.
Yeah, and I'm also looking for I've reached out to other venues as well to try to get a couple more like just regular old open mics, kind of like how the Heavy Anchor does theirs. So it's just anybody come and sign up. If there's 30 people that come and sign up, everyone gets to get on, and they, and it runs as late as it runs. But
it's always a good time.
I'm still waiting on a couple of them to, reach back out, and we're still talking to a couple different places. But right now, this is the best I can do. But it is also my first one, so take it easy on me.
All right. Yeah. Well, sounds like you guys, you got a good idea going, and then and now it's just a matter of getting the word out, getting people to show up, because we haven't had comedy in Valley Park in a while.
No, yeah.
So,
Valley Park Funny Bone went away a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's in
That
the
last big
same
flood.
little spot right there, too, where the old Funny Bone was. It's at the
Same
little
plaza.
Bobby's Place bar. So, yeah. And they got a great stage.
Yeah. Well, very cool. I'm excited for you guys. And like I said, just be a fun atmosphere. Come out, have some dinner, enjoy the show, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's Bobby's Place, so it's awesome. Like they got great food. If you haven't eaten there, you got to try it out, because their food's really good, and they always have great specials on drinks and stuff. So, and they're actually going to be giving us drink specials. They're going to be coming up. I don't have them yet. They're still working on them, but there will be specials as far as food and drink specials for the people that are attending the comedy show. So,
yeah, man. Well, right on. Yeah, that I don't know. I've been. So you've mentioned some names that I'm not as familiar with. At one point, I was like real deep into our St. Louis comedy and stuff, and like I was working nights during the week, and then so like Sunday nights I would go to the Funny Bone like every weekend, and then they had those Kilo Diabetes Foundation passes or whatever, and I
always get a free ticket.
Yeah, so I'd have a whole stack of those, and like I'd just go to every Sunday, and then and then that's how I got started meeting just all these guys that are my really good friends now. That's where I believe that's where me and John originally connected to, and then but guys like Bobby Jaycox and Sean O'Brien and Kenny Kynes and JC and all these guys that I been following for years, and a lot of them were hosting or featuring in different things, and so but I don't know what happened. It wasn't like I quit liking comedy, but I haven't been to nearly as many comedy shows. My hours at work switched, but I also work now in the industry. I work at a bar, so it's cut down on my nights of going out as much too. But I'd love to. Every now and then I get to go. I've been, if one of my favorites comes through, I make it out for sure. But it's hard for me to be plugged in as much as I want to be in comedy. But I still try to keep tabs on everything. But I think having a show like this on a Saturday night for me would be really great, because like it's hard for me to get out during the week to some of the open mics and the different shows that are going on that I just can't make it to.
And there's not a lot. There's places opening back up and doing shows, but it's definitely not as much as before March.
Right.
There's a big reason I picked Saturday too, is because there's usually only Saturday shows that are going on. Like Backdoors puts on their headliners, and there's not many open mics on Saturday nights that I can remember.
What is it? Do you remember the last comedy show you've hit? Is that in the memory banks?
Man, let's see. I haven't done anything since the virus stuff. My first one I bought tickets to prior to that is I'm going to go see Brian Regan at Helium because Brian's one of my favorites, and he's in a small club. It's going to be crazy. Like last time I saw him was the pageant, so it was like it's going to be a lot different.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
And then, but
when's he coming?
August something. Yeah, coming up.
His tickets are. How much were tickets?
I think like, I don't know, 30 something a piece or whatever.
that ain't too bad.
They weren't terrible, but something like, but I mean, like I said, for me, like that's, almost like a once in a lifetime type of thing. You don't see guys like him in a small club, so that's going to be a cool night.
That is awesome.
Yeah, the Helium's got a lot going on right now then between the St. Louis's funniest competition, which I'll be in the 15th on July.
There you go.
Segue into that one.
July 15th?
Yeah, July 15th I'll be going up against JC and Mike. So, yeah, they put me on. I think my list has one of the guys that finished second or third. Was it Matt Barnes, JC, Mike Ratcliff? So I may not be furthering, but it should be a fun time. It should definitely be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't tell you right now off the top of my head what the last one I went to, but it's been a while for sure. But, I don't know. One of the most recent ones I went to, I remember seeing Brad Williams up there a while back at Helium. And I become friendly with Carmen Morales. Came to town with him, and
with Brad,
and featured with Brad. And then I became friendly with her now. And then she just did a Zoom stand up set and like sold $5 tickets or something like that. So I did that from my house the other day. That was the last comedy show I went to, but it was on Zoom. So,
there you go.
I was kind of skeptical, I was like, I wonder how this is going to work, So, but everybody was pretty well behaved, like people weren't like, talking the whole time. Even like, I kept my mic muted just because like I didn't want to, add to it. But like they encouraged us to laugh along, feel like there are people there.
So you can hear everybody laughing.
Yeah.
There's actually
So you can get
pauses
some
for
feedback.
laughs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
like,
cool.
it was well done as best as you could do, I think, on Zoom. But like sometimes there was like some parts where like the comedian's doing something and then you could still hear people like doing something
like a dog barking in the background.
So
or
it's
something.
like, if that's the whole thing. It's like, if you're in that kind of thing, you need to mute your mic. Like, but some people didn't realize they were like being audible, I guess, or whatever. But there was like one, I remember somebody's like kids came in or something like that, and they're like, "No, honey, you got to go to bed. It's not a kid show." And it's like, "Hey, why don't you hit mute before you start talking to the kid?" That
She's
kind of
getting
thing.
to her punchline.
Right.
Hey, close the damn fridge.
I was just watching these YouTube video of this kid that was doing the Zoom classes, and it was just like a 30-minute long clip of him in all these different classes, and like he just comes in the thing and he takes a big huge bong rip, and like in the middle of the class the teacher's giving a lecture, he just takes a big bong rip and it goes to another class and he's like and he's packing it up and takes a huge rip, and all the kids are in there like, "Oh my god, did you see this?" And the teacher like exits out the class. It's hilarious. The people that you catch with like their pants down or the bottle of lotion and and the napkins over there, it's like, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of videos where a dude gets up and he's not wearing pants and they're like, "Oh, Mike, your video's still on."
I don't know. I think some of that stuff's got to be.
Yeah, like the ones on the news. The news ones.
But anyway, so this was really well done. It was Carmen. It was Alonzo Bowden. Was her headliner, and he was so good. Jackie Cation, I think.
Jackie C.A.
Maybe, I don't know, something. Anyway, she was really funny too. And then Brad Williams was actually like in the audience, which was fun. Like that, he's just like hanging out watching the show, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy named, I think, I'm blanking on his name now. Anyway, but he was the first I'd heard of him, but he had some really good jokes and that were cracking me up. So it was a great time, man. Like, but to get to see Alonzo work out some stuff like was really funny. Like it was just,
I can imagine. He's a legend.
Yeah, but it was, and then like he's just like in his living room or in a spare room and doing a set and stuff, and so it was interesting for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. How long ago was that?
This was just the other day, like last weekend, 2 weeks ago, maybe. I don't know, something like that. I forget.
I haven't done a Zoom show at all.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys like as far as like you're saying, all the clubs been shut down and stuff. If you guys had tried any of that,
I haven't been able to. I don't have high speed internet, so like I tried to watch Vic Diabeto. Have you seen him on Facebook?
No.
The comedian does the What Ticks Me Off.
Yeah.
Little short video. Have you seen him?
Well, I know he went big with that. I got to get the bread and milk. Or all that stuff like the whole like weather stuff. Like when everybody freaks out about you got to get the bread and milk and eggs and stuff. And
I tried seeing his.
What's his name?
And it wouldn't load for me at all. So
Vic. What?
Diabeto, Vic. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's why I don't really host.
I'm just
many
gonna
shows,
Google
'cause
search Vic Dick Beto.
Diabeto. He's got some hilarious stuff. He does stand up, but he does these little clips and stuff. He does ones to where, like, he says he X out some stuff. I gotta get the bread. And then he does ones where he sits in his car and he's like, what ticks me off? And he talks about current events that's going on. Like.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Italian guy, bald head, and like just like he gets very angry and like.
Yeah, he's definitely a rant.
Italian guy getting angry.
Yeah.
No,
he's from Jersey too. But he's great rant artist. Like he definitely trying to compare him to another rant. Bill Burr in a way, how he can rant, and it's just hits on every point, just dead on.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about, so besides the show you guys are putting together, you guys also been working on a podcast with, you mentioned Antonio briefly earlier, friend of the show, ATG. He's, so it's I Said What I Said podcast with RJB.
Yeah.
And you guys are the J and
J for John and B for Brad and then R for Rob Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get on like Facebook, it's ATG Presents I Said What I Said with that. But if you just look up ATG Presents I Said What I Said, it'll pull up. And we got 5 episodes out now. We haven't, with Corona, I mean, it's kind of, we're still going to be making episodes, but it's kind of thrown a wrench in the in the gears.
Well, you can listen on YouTube, but you can also, I guess it's on Beyond FM now, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you can actually physically go to Beyond FM and select what you listen to, because they just stream 24 hours. But we have aired on there, and I'm sure you can catch it there, here and there.
Yeah, so check that out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have, ATG, obviously, Brad's known him longer than me. They go back, and we got like Gorilla J and Smiley Boy and Dub Flow on one episode. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Even the episodes without them before that we know how to have a good time. I'd recommend checking it out if you haven't.
Yeah.
Not to take away Rock Paper Podcast. That's very, very nice of you to promote another podcast, sir. I appreciate it.
Those are all my homies too, man. Those guys some of the best, man. Dub actually, he does the intro now to the show and stuff.
I heard, yeah.
So, and then of course, Gorilla J is a good friend, and all those guys would go way back. So,
sorry, my dogs are rude.
It's great to see that you guys are, I just love seeing people get creative with it, like everybody, there's room for all of us, it's not like, it's not competition, it's all love. So.
Right. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
You're the man.
The ATG podcast is a lot of fun.
It is.
We a lot more fun than I thought we would have, and we're getting better and better each time it comes out. Compared to the first one to the fifth one, it's already.
Yeah. Well, even the first one was, really the hardest part is production-wise. We don't have problem pushing out like things to talk about. It's
right.
Yeah.
They got me running the mics, and I guess I'm not very good at it yet. And I'm still trying to learn from you, but that's the hardest part, really.
Yeah.
It's getting easier.
And you guys are doing it with like 5, 6 guys, or sometimes in the room or whatever.
When we had Smiley and Dub and Gorilla on, it was six of us. Yeah.
Right. So that's a lot going on. Like I've done that. I did one at Pops, actually, like in their green room, with guys. They were all doing a show there. So we tried to get like a couple guys from every band and try to promote this one event. And so I think we ended up, and we had one guy call in, but I think we ended up with like 13 people on and I was only using one mic at the time. I had my my Blue Yeti still. And it actually, it sounds
fairly decent for what it was, but it's like, it's definitely, I've taken the production up a level, having individual mics and everything else now, but it's a lot, man, trying to, especially if you're co-hosting or anything and trying to produce at the same time. And, it's like, it's a lot to try
It's probably a bunch of people going, oh, no, no. You were going to say something. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the talking over thing is
13 people trying to get words in, That's got to be difficult.
Luckily, we tried to like kind of break it up, like focus on one band at a time sort of thing. So it wasn't as much of just like a group discussion as much as, but like, so it worked out. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend that if you were, but I do.
6 was pushing it.
Yeah. But I do tell people, like, I love, like, people hit me up every now and then, like, about, hey, I want to do that. I'm like, do it. And like, grab a mic, grab a buddy, whatever, hit and just hit record. Like,
that's what I just bought a mic.
It's a lot of fun.
All that stuff to try to do a podcast eventually, and the show I had to buy mics and stand.
I thought they had PA.
They have a PA and they have lights. They just don't have mics and everything. You have to bring your own mic and stand and stuff. So I bought a couple mics. I bought one of the old school ones, like the old big metal clunky looking ones, and I've got me one of the SM58s.
Yeah,
because you can't go wrong with these guys like this.
Yeah, these things are tough and they sound great, but yeah, you can. I don't know. People act like you can run them over and all this. They're like so durable. Like that's.
I've read some. Yeah. I've read some. Reviews on them that they're the most durable.
Yeah. So
I haven't even got to try mine out yet, though. So we'll see.
Yeah. But get involved. Check out the podcast. We're like I said, on the YouTube page is a good spot to. Check that out, and then be sure to come on out August 1st to Bobby's place and see these guys. Brad, are you gonna plan to get on the stage too, or are you gonna be mainly working in like a producer role right in this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be that guy that starts the show and closes it. No, I will host the first one just to let to kind of be the face of it in the beginning, but afterwards, no, I'll probably not be part of the show as much. I may take an open mic slot, fill in a spot here or there, someone bails, but like I was saying, I've only been doing it since January, and I know I'm not, afraid to admit I'm not the funniest guy out there, and I've got a list of so many funnier I've got a list of so many comedians around here that I want to perform to watch. I honestly, I think I'm more into just watching good comedy than I am even into performing it.
Right.
I enjoy it. I enjoy having a good set. But if I can get all my favorite comedians in at one spot to do a show together, that's going to be a great night. And if I don't have to be in it, that's even better because there's no pressure on me then.
I'm with you. Like I just enjoy it. Like I've thought about it. I thought especially doing this show, like I've thought like maybe I should go try some open mic stuff just to kind of like try that a different, work a different muscle sort of thing.
You got some jokes lined up? You got some
let's
hear. You got a notepad?
No way. But I'm just like, I think it would be a useful tool to have, like to try just to get over, more comfortable in front of people and, that kind of thing, just to. So I've thought about that. Well, maybe not necessarily even open mic, but like improv classes and stuff too. I thought about like that way I can riff better with people and and everything else. Just like just kind of add another tool to the belt sort of deal. So I've thought about this different things and I just never have done it. But I've always been a fan. And like I remember hanging out, like I said, at the Funny Bone all the time, and people were always like, "Hey, dude, you want to do comedy?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I just a fan. I just like enjoy watching these shows." And
that's kind of how I got called into it. I remember it was Nate Barron, which is a comedian. I had been going for like 6 months before to all the open mics, the Funny Bones and Heliums, and just I was on that St. Louis independent comedy or whatever it was page. I had all the open mics and I'd go check them out, and then Nate Barron finally called me out. He's like, when are you gonna get up there? You come to all the open mics? And it's like, oh shit, I guess I gotta get up there.
I'm surprised they recognized me with my dreads and I'm oddly more tan than everybody else. And maybe not anymore,
no. But when I first came, yeah, so I got into it. It's a lot of fun.
Sure.
It is. And like you were saying, that improv, I want to do it in class just for the, like you said, exercising a new muscle because it is good. I feel you can definitely tell the people that have taken a class in improv and comedy. Like I can tell the ones that go to the improv and take the classes.
Right. Yeah, the improv shop's got a good class. I did their first level or whatever. I don't think I even passed it because I didn't go to all of them, but I learned a lot.
But just from I can tell the ones that took the class just by their interaction with crowds and talking to people. And I feel I can always point out, like last night or Thursday, who was it? I think is who's the one that runs the Apotheosis open mic?
Tom Brown?
Not Tom Brown.
Pat Ryan.
Pat Ryan. Like, I've always had a feeling it was like, this guy knows like theater. And I guess he's got a theater degree or went to school for it for years. And I was like, I do it. I could look at you and I can see the way you talk to the crowd and how you present everything, that you know all the A's and B's of it. Like me, I don't know. I'm just up there winging it.
Sure.
But he knows the procedure and how to do it all.
So I think what we've come up with is that August 1st at Valley Park, Bobby's place, Shane Presley is going to be performing his first comedy set.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
No takesies, backsies.
All right, I'll work on a tight 5 for you.
Oh, he's taking it seriously. All right.
You've already got
Man, if you ever did that, I bet there'd be a lot of people to watch. I bet that you'd have. I mean, with everybody that stays in touch with you, they find out Shane Presley's going to do comedy.
Yeah, just as many people as you've helped support, like you helping us do this, they would be there to support you. And I mean, it was like me going to John's first shows. I went to a couple of them, and they were brutal. Just like, he wasn't even getting sympathy.
Wow, man.
But no, that's actually, believe it or not, what made me throw in and get into comedy is I seen him.
Man, John was so bad that I got to be able to do better than him.
Well, no, he wasn't that great in the beginning. Then I seen him do this benefit last year where they were having like a rap battle or something as different artists.
Oh, at Sonny's.
And I had seen him do his set and was like, and after 6 years and seeing how much he grew, it was like, oh wow. It was almost inspirational, but I'm not gonna jerk him off that much. But it was crazy. I was talking to my old lady. I was like, you remember first time we seen him? He's like, yeah, that's a completely different comedian there. So that made me think I could do it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, you still got another 5 years, dog.
Yeah.
Well, even like kind of what we were saying too, like it's even comedy is very broad. There obviously is stand-up comedy, which is what we're going to be focusing on there. But like there's even guys like, you look at Lorne Michaels or whatever. Like, yeah, he's a fan of comedy, and he has a good eye for it, and puts these people in position to do well on SNL and stuff. But it's like, so he's still involved, but he's not. He works in behind the scenes and stuff, and that kind of thing too. So I think there's, or improv or whatever. There's writing,
Sketch,
even
improv,
writing, just being a comedic writer for a show and stuff. So like. So even if performing isn't necessarily your thing, there's still like tons of options, and so that's what I think is kind of cool about the whole comedy scene and stuff too. So
what he's trying to say is, give it up.
Yeah,
just start writing jokes for a TV show.
Yeah, well, I don't even have to perform. I just have to go up there with my hair down and be like, "What's up, guys?" And they're like, "Look at this fucking stoner. He's just funny to look at."
I don't just smoke weed. I do other drugs.
That's been John's bit for a long time. Just
yeah, then he showed up. Now all my materials being saturated by a guy that looks the part.
Hey, I'm the funny stoner looking guy.
Yeah.
No, everybody.
I've actually gone away from all that.
My buddy Matt, that's out there, actually was with me and watched you and did that Gilbert Grape joke. You get confused as Leo from that. It killed him. Like, it murdered him. He's like, it's so true. He was like, yeah, he's leaning into that one.
You find truth in comedy. Is that what they say?
Yeah. Well, I've been having fun asking some people some of these silly questions. So I thought I'd ask you guys. And speaking of SNL, this is one that I actually heard Spade on Howard Stern the other day, and he said somebody proposed a question to him, and I thought it was interesting, so I thought I'd ask you guys. But if you guys had to pick your all-time SNL cast, 8 different people and 2 for your weekend update, who you guys picking to be on that cast?
Weekend update, I'd want I think Norm Macdonald would have to be on there, right? Didn't he do that
Oh, yeah,
for a little while?
Sure, yeah.
And he had an interesting take on it. I don't watch enough SNL to know.
Yeah, I'm not too.
Mine will all be old school names.
The
Put Eddie Murphy on there because didn't he do
Eddie,
2 episodes?
Dave. Well, Dave was never on SNL, was he?
I don't know. I don't even know how many episodes Eddie did.
I followed the Def Jam comedy series much more than the SNL. I like the SNL. It's just I don't think we had that. We didn't watch much of that growing up.
You didn't have antenna cable?
No, we were DVD like my parents.
Well, it is a thing too. There was a lot of people like that didn't get into SNL as much as like Mad TV or even In Living Color. You know, like they would prefer.
In Living Color was one I could.
So it's funny to see where people's comedy's at because like they're 3 very different shows and stuff. But so it's just it's all your taste.
I probably watched both Mad TV and In Living Color more than I've ever watched SNL.
Right.
Yeah.
So can I put Jim Carrey as one of my SNL casts?
Remember the bit when Jim Carrey did the Vanilla Ice?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned Norm being on there. That's one of my favorite.
Didn't he do wasn't he Weekend Update for a little while?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but that's what was funny. It was like when I remember Will Ferrell came on as Harry Carey for a segment, and Colin Quinn was doing the Weekend Update at the time, and he keeps coming out. Will comes out and he's like, keeps going, "Hey Norm," and it's like,
if you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? I know I would, or whatever he said.
Yeah, it just makes me crack. It just cracked me up that he kept calling him Norm. That's even though Norm was long gone. So anyway,
I tried watching some of Norm's stuff not too long ago, like his newer stuff that he's working on. I guess they had somebody was recording him in like a New York spot or just a little comedy club. Wasn't that good?
Who?
Norm.
Oh. I watched him. He had a set where it was like immediately when Corona started, and he had like a 10-minute video up there of him like hitting those topics real fast. One of the first people you saw.
Was it a real bright jacket?
Yeah, I thought it was good. But I think Norm Macdonald's a good joke.
I guess
writer.
I'm just so used to Norm Macdonald's polished material, seeing him work on something that's brand new.
I appreciate him for the opposite. Like he's good at presenting the jokes, but it's still like a informal Norm Macdonald way. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. I've seen him a couple times, and it's always kind of hit and miss. Like sometimes he's had a couple too many drinks or something sometimes, and not the set you want it to be, but it's so I don't know, man, but
I know
he's still one of
like that though.
Still one of my favorites though.
It's like that they don't have enough beer in them. It's not going to go
too
great.
Uptight.
Yeah,
too much.
It's just like I remember once I had to follow Ronaldo, and he had just enough drinks in him, and it was at some place, and they had like a 100-foot long XLR cable, and he realized he could just walk around the whole bar. So he's doing his set, just drunk as shit, walking around, killing it. But he's like walking around the bar, got the cord all tangled up, so I got to come up there and I'm trying to do my set, get the cord back and everything. And it just made me bomb. That was one of my worst bombs.
That sounded hilarious at face value. You just fucking replacing that cord the whole time.
That night there was a baby at the bar. Literally at the bar. It was in its car seat in the bar at the bar.
Wow.
With one parent on one side and the other parent on the other. I was like, man, this kid's gonna be the coolest kid, or being 12 steps before high school.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have a babysitter. Oh, fuck it. Let's go to the bar anyway.
Yeah, that's comedy night. I can't miss that. That's the kind of people I want to
Let's give little Abel a kitty cocktail.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
What's a movie or TV show you guys wish you were in? Is there anything come to mind?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Californication with David Duchovny, because that's my man crush.
Yeah.
That show.
You wish you were him, or you wish you were acting alongside him?
Just to be acting along, just to be
by
just
him.
to get the experience, just to be able to jerk off to him afterwards.
Jesus.
No, but that's been one of my favorite shows. I found it Weeds had just came out, and that show had came out, and I feel the Californication got overlooked because of the Weeds. And as a pothead, yeah, I enjoyed the Weeds, but I think it was nowhere near as funny and as good of a show as Californication was. Like, the comedy in that was just so well done. Like, there was nothing forced, and it was like everybody that was every character that was like their character to play, it seems like. And besides seeing David Duchovny as somebody besides the FBI X-Files guy, but when that show came out, I think I laughed from beginning to end on every episode damn near. And I thought that was one of the coolest shows.
John, you got anything?
I'd probably, could I be in Breaking Bad? I feel like make it even more credible. Not that they need any more credibility, but they'd be like, oh, they got a true Jefferson County, Missouri.
That is his character.
The meth capital of America? Probably at the time we recorded this.
Can you lose some teeth? Can we get rid of some teeth?
I noticed he's got all of his teeth. I noticed that his shirt's not very dirty.
Yeah. He smells like
Jon Maddy in the role he was born to play.
Yeah. Also, I really like the show Dexter. I think I'd like to be Michael C. Hall in that show. That was cool. Yeah. You ever seen that show?
Yeah, well, we watched that one.
Except for the last 2 seasons, it's a good show.
I think I could be Nurse Jackie. Since the nursing part, you don't want me to.
Yeah, you kind of look like her.
Yeah. Although, pills aren't my drug of choice, but hey, she was.
If the nurse did a bunch of acid and.
She was tripping balls on mushrooms and DMT. Like, that might be my cup of tea. No, actually, DMT.
That would probably be a really good show in itself, honestly.
No, I did DMT not too long ago, and it was my first time and probably the last time. Like, I was terrified.
It was right before we started recording, actually. So.
No, like, I was screaming for my old lady. It was another experience. Definitely changes you.
I did.
What about you?
For a show?
Yeah.
Or DMT?
Yes and yes. I was asking what show you wish you could be on, though.
I often say The Office. It's I find it hilarious, and I just think I would enjoy being in that type of cast and stuff.
Would you like to replace a specific character, or do you just want to be involved?
Yeah, I think it would just be fun to be in the room with all those people. Like, I don't necessarily like office work at all, but like the real life kind of thing. But like, I think like being around all those people would be a lot of fun to be part of that show.
To be fair, I don't think anybody, any character in there liked office work either.
Yeah.
My wife loves that show, and I have a friend, and his son looks just like. What's the damn it?
Gotta give us something.
The dude's name. He's the taller. He's
Jim.
No, he's
the taller guy.
Dwight.
Dwight.
There it is. I don't know why the name is, but looks just like him. He has a kid. His son looks just like Dwight. Like, and we were watching it, and I was like, and my friend doesn't see it at all because it's his son.
Does he have glasses?
Yeah, he needs them. And he looks so much like Dwight, I can't help but laugh. And that's probably one of my favorite people off of The Office is Dwight.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you a story while you're talking about DMT and all that different stuff. But so I did one of these shows. We were supposed to. It was the whole premise of the show was they were going to take mushrooms and do the podcast because there was an idea.
You were like, yes.
That was the idea. Like, they were like, this is going to be fun, and I'm like, whatever.
Just 45 minutes of laughing and
laughing or
words.
Someone crying.
Yeah.
So we had arranged to meet at a certain location, but that night it like started snowing real bad, and I'm like, I tried going down the road, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. Like, I was like, it's not worth wrecking my car over, and all this stuff. And so when I text them, I was like, guys, I'm not gonna make it, and it's like the roads are shit out here, and they're like.
We were just prepping.
Like, they were like, the deed's already been done, and like they're like, we got a limited window to work with, like, and then I think they'd spent quite a bit of money because anyway, so it was like we need to do this, and we only have so much time to work with to prep. But I was like, well, if you guys record it, I'll still air it. I don't care. I was like, and so they, but
Are these guys not to be named?
No, I don't care. It's still available. You can
Just tell us which episode it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think we called it Honky Tonk Holiday Hootenanny or something like that. is on, so just search that. And
I love the alliteration. I'll remember that.
Right. Anyway, so we get together. So I was like, you guys record it. I would put it up. I just kind of figured they would cut me out kind of thing. But then they decided like, no, we're going to call Shane. So they called me, and they had my their phone plugged into the recorder. And so it sounded like on my phone it didn't sound great, but on the recording it sounds great. But I'm just sitting on my couch, like on speakerphone, like hosting the show, and they're like all tripping balls and like.
Oh, and that'd been great to try to put together.
So like they start, and then of course like as it gets progressively worse, and like they start like. Isaac starts saying stuff like he's seeing like some cowboy ghost and stuff in there, and like all this stuff. Anyway, so
you gotta take a lot of mushrooms to see stuff like you taking.
It was quite entertaining though, and so definitely check that one out. But it was some silly shit in there. But that's really like the only big drug usage that we've done on the show. Like besides some people smoking some various things, but.
I can only imagine. Like I don't like to do psychedelics in crowds. I've got friends and they love going to festivals and all that, and they'll drop L or they'll do, mushrooms or all these other synthetics that are out there, and it's just like no. Like when I do mine, I'm all alone. I'm in my house. Like usually my wife will pull into the driveway at like 8:00 from work. I'll be butt naked in my driveway, just staring at the sky. Like this is awesome, But I can't be around people. Like I cannot be around people when I'm doing any of that, because they freak me out. People are mean. Like, people can be mean.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I get when I'm around people that I don't know and I'm tripping or something like that. And I don't do it regularly. Like John makes it come off. It's once
I'm just jealous
every 6 months. I may do mushrooms, but I make sure to smoke a little meth every day.
Yeah.
I think that's what they say. They smoke a little every day and keep the doctor.
Being a construction worker, I've learned that America's infrastructure is built off of meth heads. You would be surprised at some of the $1 million company owners I know that do that. Not like you would think, like you see in the show The Breaking Bad, and how you see all these people doing it. Now these guys are like dropping it in their coffee in the morning time and just but they work circles around you, like, and it's not like the way I see it being done in that field and industry.
Dropping it in hot coffee.
I just when you said that, my mind went to Chappelle show with Tyrone when he's like, peanut butter and crack sandwich.
Yeah, that's how I have always imagined it, especially living somewhere else. Like when I was living in Carolina, we didn't have that meth problem out there. When I moved out here, I was like, oh, y'all really got a meth problem out here. And then I started working construction and building homes. I was like, oh man, like, hey, there's just so many people I didn't realize did it. That do it, because I was used to the people in Shangri-La, Fenton, where my mom lives, and I lived there as a kid and seen how they were, up for 7 days doing it. I was like, holy shit. So that's all I ever see.
Smell that sentence.
Yeah.
In the shower.
That's all I could ever think of when I seen them, and then I started working around all these people. I was like, wow, it's just a lot of people that are doing that kind of stuff, and it just shocks me. Like, maybe you should try some mushrooms, man. Take a day off and relax.
I've often like joked. I mean, like I don't know that I'll ever really do it, but like the fact that like Rogan talks about DMT so much, I've often like talked about doing it just on the show, just to impress record.
You're going to do it on the show, or just talk about it?
I don't think I would ever do it, but it's like I was saying, like I think it would be interesting to like press record and see what happens. Like,
so nothing's gonna happen during the recording.
Right.
The way it's done is the way I did it. I did it the best way you can is an e-nail. You can set this electronic little nail like a dab rig to the perfect temperature, because that's a problem. A lot of people, they get it too hot, they burn it up. and they don't get any of the real effects. But I did it at the perfect temperature to where, and you just lay back and you basically go unconscious for a little while. You're conscious, but it's so hard to explain.
Right.
But you definitely, the crazy thing about it is once you do it, you understand everybody else's explanation of it, and everybody sees the same things almost. Yeah. Like everyone's explaining their experience is the same. Like me and you, all three of us take acid and we'll experience something different. But with DMT, you're all going to see the same hyperbolic geometry, and you're going to feel these intense energy of somebody else or something else there that's much smarter than you, that's controlling you, or it's just so hard it's impossible to explain. It was very scary. I came out of it feeling like, to be in all honesty, like I had to prove to my wife that I was in my relationship. Like you come out of it, you get something out of it. And I felt like my wife was second guessing maybe our marriage, and we've only been married, we're going on year 2. We were very happy in our marriage, but for some reason that's what I got out of it, and maybe she was second guessing it, and I needed to work on my marriage. And so I definitely get the things that people get from it and the experience, but it's something I won't be trying again for a very long time. I think it's nothing like I've done acid, I've done mushrooms, nothing compares. Like what I got from DMT is what I was expecting acid to give me when I first did acid.
You see why I can assume that I think you do it all the time? Because anytime we bring it up, it's let me go into a monologue about how this works, all right? You got to get the DMT to a perfect temperature, all right? Mix it with some motor oil, okay? DMT is one thing that I can say that I've experienced that took me to I do believe some people should experience in it if you got a lot of questions, but be ready, be prepared, because it's not something you can turn back. You can't shut it off once you're on that. Once you do it, you're on that road for the next 20 minutes, and it feels like 2-3 hours, but it's really only 15-20 minutes.
Yeah. That's I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I've never tried any of it. So
I definitely understand where Joe Rogan brings it down and says it gets rid of your ego. It breaks all that down. Definitely does. Like I wouldn't be telling you guys usually that I was screaming from my wife like a little bitch, before. I don't know you guys. Yeah. I know John. I don't know you. I'm not going to tell you, but after you do it, and if you were to ever do it, you'd be like, oh, I get it now. Yeah. I get it. Like I understand. So
yeah.
It's definitely like, and Mike Tyson and all these people that talk about it, you get what they mean by it after you do it. You're like, being this tough guy that doesn't matter at all anymore. So
right, yeah, that's some crazy stuff. But yeah, I just think it's, especially with Rogan, like how much he like talks about it. Like I mean, just like pretty much asks like every guest like if they've done it. Like
have you done it?
Yeah,
do you want to do it?
Yeah. Like, so, yeah. But yeah. I don't mess with any of that stuff. I've never even, like I grew up around it, not DMT, but like my parents were big potheads and like grew in our basement and everything, and like so like I've been around that, but I've never even smoked.
Did your parents know my parents?
Yeah, well they were of that era, like I mean that was definitely, they were hippie children of the 70s and stuff. That was
that's my parents all day long. But that's my real dad. My real dad's he's weird.
So I got a question for you guys.
All right.
I went to a drive-in movie theater and I watched 2 movies, and I've already got my decision on which one. I want you guys to tell me which movie is better between these 2. All right, Jaws or Jurassic Park?
Jaws.
I'm a Jurassic Park guy.
Jaws was my first one before Jurassic Park.
So this brings up my point. Like the movie themselves, Jurassic Park is better. I'll fight you on that. But Jurassic Park doesn't feed on a real fear people have of getting attacked by a shark. Right. And you saying you like Jaws better, and you've been surfing all this time, does that tie into an existential fear of sharks?
Yeah, I won't go watch Jaws and then go surf. Right. It's just not going to happen.
If you watch those movies back to back, Jaws is so boring.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like they're just building up your fear of sharks. But if you watch Jurassic Park, yeah.
What drive-in did you go to?
The one down there in Ditmer, I think it is.
Really?
Yeah. They played Jurassic Park first, and then they played Jaws, and I was like, dude. After watching Jurassic Park and then get way through Jaws, we're like, let's leave.
Yeah. I obviously it's very different, but I I would compare it to, I went one time to see Kenny Wayne Shepherd open for Robert Cray at Lumiere, whatever.
The Lumiere.
Yeah. So Kenny Wayne Shepherd, was a badass in his own right, and Robert Cray is a legend. But Robert, after watching Kenny Wayne Shepherd like tear it up on stage,
About the blue on black.
yeah,
Blue on black.
and then like then Robert Cray comes on after him, and like even though he's a legend, like his stuff's like way slowed down, and like I was bored. I was like, I gotta go. Like,
Like his like he was playing it slower.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like he's
that's just the nature of his
how
music.
he plays. He's just like a lot more smooth kind of stuff. He's not as rock and roll as Kenny is and stuff. So it's like, but if it was the other way around, I probably would have appreciated Robert Cray a whole lot more. But I was just like, man, I'm bored. I gotta go. Like this is putting me to sleep. So
That's pretty much the same thing I was going through.
Jaws is a classic. It's the reason why it's as celebrated as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch it right after watching Jurassic Park, it's like
like who picked that order?
Right.
You should have played Jaws first.
But yeah, we just watched Jurassic Park on the big screen. Since all the theaters are don't have new movies, so they're playing a bunch of old favorites, and so we got to go to our local B&B theater and watch it on the grand screen. And we were literally there was 3 people in the theater, me and my wife, and some person was by themselves, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like get a private showing of Jurassic Park and stuff. So that was a good time.
Kick your feet up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have out on the beach when it wasn't tourist season. We my buddy worked at the theater there. When there's no tourists, it's dead. We'd get in there and we could have like literally the whole theater to ourselves, order pizzas, and just hang out in the theater and watch movies.
Yeah.
Like on the screen by ourselves. I mean, you get to smoke dubs and everything. It was great.
My buddy John's been I don't know, he hasn't done it obviously in quite a while, but he was doing like a recurring thing every time he went to the theater. He was trying to see how far he could push it to sneaking stuff in. And like I think he got to the point like one of the last ones he did was like he brought like a whole bucket of fried chicken and like all this stuff. Like he's like sneaking food in, and then like a lot of times
under his shirt.
Yeah, but like a lot of times he got to he realized nobody even cares, so he's just walking in with it and stuff. And like so then he takes a picture of him sitting in the theater, like just whatever. He's got he's got like a rack of ribs and stuff, like or whatever. Like so I was just cracking up like at just like how extreme he was pushing it to.
Did anybody say anything about the chicken?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I just it just made me laugh. Like, just imagine him sitting there with like a, whole extra large pizza or whatever, something, just so yeah. You imagine somebody just eating some, snow caps or bucket of popcorn or whatever. But he's got a whole spread,
Can't watch the movie with the smell of barbecue sauce.
Tucked into his shirt. He brought a little unfoldable tray.
Yeah.
Bought another ticket for his drink.
Glass of wine and a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
He brought a bartender with him.
Yeah. But that's the way to go to the movies, man. Because they got those like 5 stars now or whatever in Warenberg, where they like to actually have like a waitress come out and
With the fancy seats and all that.
I was like, man,
kicks back and
this is. I've tried to go back to like watching it in like those old little seats and everything. I mean, it's like, wow, you can't. It's hard to go back to this, like in no leg room at all. Or nothing.
Yeah. Especially for a tall man like yourself.
Right.
Yeah, the ones
I
that
feel
give you
ya.
like this section, a little couch for your group of people that like they have the little love seats or whatever for couples. I wouldn't trust that too much.
Well, guys, it's been a ton of fun. That's a good way to spend an afternoon, getting to hang out with you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
August 1st, Saturday.
Yep.
Bobby's Place, Valley Park. What's the start time? 8?
Yeah, 7:45. Get
8.
there. It's 8 o'clock. But for the comics, you need to be there by 7:45.
Yeah, show up early.
Or you'll never get on my list again. No, I'm kidding, because I've been that late guy before. Just on Thursday, I was just like 30 minutes late to the show.
Well, you are coming from way the hell out here, like.
To go to the fountain. Yeah, I just picked up a screw, and I had to switch the cars out because my tire was flat.
Yeah. And so Underground Comedy on Facebook, is that right?
Underground Comedy Series. You just look that up on Facebook and Instagram, right?
Instagram, Twitter.
And we'll actually have he'll actually have a website here pretty soon, too.
I do have one, but I haven't paid for the domain name yet. I gotta still finish purchasing that, but it's at GoDaddy, so
it'll probably be like
link on the one
Underground Comedy Series 84653, something like that. One we got for 85 cents.
No, it'll be the name. It's just I haven't gotten around to doing it.
He doesn't want to fork out the $12 for the domain name.
I wasn't going to until I knew like the whole COVID thing was done, because I had all this set up in back in April, and it got shut down. So
yeah,
hopefully it doesn't get shut down anymore. If people,
what was the? I heard something on the I Said What I Said podcast, like you saying what, dude man bro or something.
Yo dude man bro.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you mean his Wi-Fi name? No, yeah, that's it. When he first made his Facebook profile, his name was Yo Dude Man Bro.
Yeah, I hadn't have I only got Facebook back because of this whole thing and the comedy. Because people are like, oh, you gotta go to Facebook to sign up for it. Like, shit, I don't have a Facebook. They're like, well, who are you? It's 2020.
Right?
Who doesn't have a Facebook? Lots of people.
Yeah.
Yo Dude's got a Facebook.
And that's why it's taken so long to get everything up and on the social media, because I'm computer illiterate when it comes to all of this stuff. So it's going to take me some time to figure it all out. But once I do, I'll get it going.
Yeah. Well, again, come on out August 1st, Bobby's Place, Valley Park, Missouri. We got a great lineup for you, and we're going to keep them going every Saturday. So if you happen to miss that one, just come on out the 8th and bring a friend, tell everybody. Let's pack it out and have a good time.
Hell yeah.
I think that's what we need right now. We could use some laughs, and so.
Yeah, it's a free show, so don't worry about bringing money for the show. Just bring money for the bartenders.
Yep.
So, but I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
You doing this for us.
Yeah, it was great hanging with you guys, and it was, of course, good catching up with my buddy John.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be on Rock Paper Podcast.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.